Number 11 is a motion to approve the mayor's reappointment of Jack Meyers, Frank Kennedy Jr., and Tim Woolley to the Museum Commission for a 3-year term.
I was wondering if we could get a more extensive bio on Mr. Woolley.
I figured you knew everything about me, but there's something on there.
12 is a motion to approve the personal service contract between the City of Taylor and the Human Resources Director. Any questions on that?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Mayor?
I thought we were still talking about Woolley's appointment to the...
Oh, no, go ahead. It was something wonderful to tell us about it.
Well, there's rumors, that's all I can say.
I was going to say easy.
I'll let Amanda talk about the differences currently between the contract and the TGM. I have spoke to the labor attorney, and one of the reasons that we're suggesting bringing forward a PSC, the labor attorney recommended that it's in the best interest of the City of Taylor as the HR director negotiates contracts. She also negotiates contracts for a union that she potentially is sitting in currently, or for or against. So it's to avoid any potential conflict of interest. Amanda can talk about the differences currently of what she's receiving in the form of compensation in TGM and what this PSC would propose.
The PSC is similar to the other PSCs that have been brought forward to you for some of the other directors. The compensation in terms of salary will be the same. The amount of sick days will be reduced by 2 days. The director will no longer be eligible for an education bonus, and she will no longer be able to cash out any of her vacation time. So there's no cash value for any of the sick or vacation time in this new contract.
Does everybody with the contract get insurance and pay renewal? Do you get the pay renewal? Because I know this one is.
Yes, all the contracts, all the current PSCs have the same benefits, medical benefits as the TGM does, other than the fact that the PSCs are not eligible for retiree health care. But yes, the same type of hospitalization medical benefits.
Okay.
If I could clarify, Councilman, for directors. I think there's some PSCs that we'll see that have a different level of benefits at like golf course or some of the other stuff, but when talking about directors, yes.
Okay. So could you tell me what that payment is? Renewal?
For a payment in lieu of for a single person is 100. Employee plus one is 300, and employee plus family is 400.
Thank you.
Item 13 is approved to purchase practice ammunition for the police department. Michigan Ammo was the low quote, and for cost not to exceed $48.60. And it's going to be reimbursed through the State Forfeiture Funds. If you have any questions for the chief on that? 14 is a motion to amend PCR number 4.181-15 to correct an expense of $18,120, and this also is funded through State Forfeiture Funds.
I have a question for this one. I didn't pull my last CCR number. I just wanted to know where it was being funded through before.
It was previously funded through State Forfeiture. The amount was incorrectly put on the agenda item last time. This was for the 5 Dell computers. It was incorrectly entered as $16,120. It should have been entered as $18,120.
Thank you.
Okay. 15 is motion to approve Joe's carpet service. The low FEMA quote to replace water damaged flooring at the Taylor Police Auxiliary Building for an amount of $5,649.
When was that damaged?
That was during the flooding last year.
The 100-year rain.
Water came into the auxiliary training room and ruined all the flooring. And Guido did some work on it, and we qualified under FEMA to get reimbursed for that.
Okay. We also had that 4 years before that. Did the same thing.
I don't know about that.
I do.
This happened when we had that big heavy rain when a lot of the basements flooded. We had several claims under FEMA, this being one of them.
But I know the issue over there and why it's doing it. I'll talk to you later about it.
Certainly if it could be avoided.
Yeah, it can be.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask, if the reason it flooded is the reason to be fixed?
My understanding is there's an issue with the grade leading into that, the east side of the building there. But other than that, I don't have any more specifics for you.
16 is contract renewal with Blue Cross Blue Shield Michigan and Blue Cross Blue Shield for Blue Care Network for the next year.
Madam Chair, I'd like to actually talk about 16, 17, 18 kind of in tandem.
Okay.
And address those all together. Just to let everyone know, we have John O'Connor from 44 North, which was previously CICS, same company, just a different name change. I do have this summary that we prepared tonight. I'd like to talk about item 18 first. This is something that we need to bring to the legislative body annually to have on record. Every year, the state does require us to bring this to the legislative body. So we are bringing it before you today. We're in preparations for open enrollment, so we are asking for this motion to be approved. This does relate to Public Act 152, where it says that the legislative body has the options to go with the hard cap, an 80-20 cost share, or to opt out. So there must be a council resolution on file that confirms our kind of policy here for the city of Taylor in terms of the employee-employer cost share as it relates to PA 152. So with that being said, we're also bringing forward the renewals for the medical and prescription plans this evening, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Blue Care Network, and Health Alliance plan. So I'll draw your attention to the recap on the 44 North stationery. Just to kind of go over at the bottom, the overall renewals, Blue Cross Blue Shield at an overall rate of 5.95%. So this does factor in actives and retirees that are not Medicare eligible, so not age 65, and then our retirees that are age 65 and older. So once again, it's a blending of rates. So you could see in any particular suffix, it could be decreased, it could be higher, but overall it's a blending of 5.95%. Certainly a lot better than we were last year with almost a 30%, 32% increase once taxes and fees were added on. So we seem to be making some headway, just in keeping a partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield, talking a little bit more with the underwriters and making sure that we have a good handle on how they're coming up with the rate renewals, and they have a good handle on our experience and our utilization. HAP was a 9.5% increase. Actually, last year we'd entered into a rate lock program with HAP, which said that our rate could be no higher than 9.5%. And had we not entered into that rate lock, our actual rate renewal this year would have been 11.4. So we were able to, by entering into that agreement last year, to actually shave almost 2% off of our renewal. And Blue Care Network continues to be one of the most affordable options that we have, and continues to be flat year after year. So the employees that choose that progressively over the past 4 years have really not seen any increase. Next month we'll be bringing forward some renewals for dental and vision, because we have done some market analysis, and we will need to make a change as co-op vision has gone out of business, and we're going to need to move some employees to some new programs. So with that being said, I'll turn over to John, and you can kind of talk about the history of the HRA and the high deductible, and does this really still make sense for the city of Taylor, and then also just talking a little bit about what we did with pursuing a self-funded concept.
Okay, yep, thanks Sheila. Good evening. Thanks for having me here. So what we've done is we've tracked since the inception of doing the HRA, which is really a quasi-self-funded, partially self-funded program. We just tracked the performance from when we started, what the premiums were for actives in 365 to this year, what the premiums would be. So as you can see, it's a little over $6 million in 2011, and in 14 it's under $6 million. So the self-funded program, although the cost of insurance goes up, it's actually served the city well. It actually has produced about $2.6 million in savings. I know savings is a slippery slope or a tricky word to use because it's not like it saved you $2.6 million. It just helped in the deficit reduction program, and I don't know the inner workings of financing, but it probably relieved a little pressure on where you were going to find that increase over the last 4 or 5 years. So it has served well. One of the pressing things we did this year was challenge. We challenge every year the funding, and is it working still? If it's not, what can we do? So we looked at self-funding. We looked at it last year. We looked at it again this year, and we asked for self-funded quotes from a number of carriers, one being Blue Cross Blue Shield Total Replacement. And our concern was, as you think about self-funding, that's where the city would actually take on the full responsibility of paying claims up to a specific stop loss, if you will. In this scenario, I use a round number, it was $100,000. So we looked at that, and we looked at best case scenario, worst case scenario. So the best case scenario was just under what is predicted to be spent. The worst case scenario is around $8 million. Do I think that you would be in the worst case scenario? No. Do I think you'd be at the best case scenario? No. It lands somewhere in the middle, maybe leaning towards past 50%.